They are in the house because something spectacular is happening. Something spectacular is happening. And it's happening right here on grounds at a place we call Unity that was named so long ago by divine appointment. It was named Unity not just because the movement of the spiritual church or community, which wasn't even a church at the time, right? It was just teachings, was birthed here. And Charles and Myrtle Fillmore ideated the name Unity. But just like the master teacher is not exclusive to Christianity, yeah? It is an embodiment of the teachings of truth that the divine is within all beings, right? And this too more you shall do. So too is unity, an embodiment of something greater than what we would call the individual ministries of unity. It is part of a sisterhood, of a community called New Thought. New Thought was brought into the Parliament of World Religions, I believe, in 2015. And I believe that our Barbara Fields had something to do with that, right, Ken? She recently lifted off and went into her Freedom Forum, and no doubt she's still working. And boy, oh boy, would she be honored to know that on grounds this weekend was celebrated the grand opening of the archives, the history, the rich history from Science of Mind teachings and the Centers for Spiritual Living here on grounds at Unity, as Unity. Let's give them a shout out. For those of you online, our virtual community, go ahead and put that in your browser, Google it, see about it. You can see what's happening. You can see when you can come visit. You are welcome here. This is your village, whether you're from Unity, whether you're from CSL. There's another thing happening here. It's like three rivers are converging. INTA is bringing their archives here, and they are in the midst of that development and getting ready to have their opening. That's the International New Thought Alliance. And they have for 100 years, I believe, kept the New Thought teachings alive and kept the light glowing in their way. And so a vision that I've had in my heart for a long time, and I'm just going to take the authority to speak it. I really have no power here, but I'm just going to take the power, right? Because that's what we do. So I see us as a center. I have these visions of the tower, and this isn't specific. This doesn't have to happen. I'm not like writing a proposal or anything. But I can see our tower. And what I see in there is that each New Thought organization has like a headquarters in each level of the tower. Right? Could you imagine that? And whether or not it happens physically, doesn't matter, because New Thought has three rivers converging here, and I think there will be more, right? We have AG&T, Association for Global New Thought. We have Anton. There are give a shout out for Anton, Martha Creek. And there is an emerging consciousness of unity in New Thought. Would you stand, and would you, if you're in our Zoom virtual sanctuary, just put it in the chat group. If you're on Facebook, put it online. Stand or say something enthusiastic if you think we are bolder together. Yeah. Amen. Amen. There's something like around 600, between 600 and 700 Unity centers. There's something around 400, I think, CSL centers. And when you take all of them, if you take Michael Beckwith's work and how he went global with Agape and how many people are drawn to him in the teachings and the ministries that are birthing out from there. I was in Durango the other summer, and last summer I was in Durango, and I was looking for something because I was on my summer sabbatical, and I thought, we're kind of getting into the sermon here, sorry. But I thought that I could find something spiritually nourishing there in Durango and go to a center. And I looked it up, and there's like no Unity, there's no CSL, And so anyway, I did my own things, praying by the river, all that kind of stuff. But I took myself out to an Indian restaurant because I love that. And I went into the Indian restaurant, and what do I see when I walk in the door at the Indian restaurant but a poster of guess who? Michael Beckwith. And he's having church at an Indian restaurant. So the community has come together, and they have a representative that said they're going to live stream the service and they're going to go all agape in the Indian restaurant. And I didn't make it to the service because I had to actually leave before I found out about it. But I was like, yes, we are everywhere. And when people know who we are and that we're all related, that we're all the same water but different streams, yes, then we will be able to bless our world in the way that unity, I believe, by all of the founders, was intended to bless the world. Amen. And I'm just going to say this because the last time I was at the archives in Colorado, right? The last time I was at the Centers for Spiritual Living archives, I was there with my AG&T family. And we were there having our meetings and doing a rally at the Mile High Church in Colorado, in Denver, Lakewood. And we got to have a tour of the building. And they had just done a fundraiser and lifted off some of the sacred things from Ernest Holmes. And one of the things that I got, because they offered it to us as far as after the fundraiser, right? There was still some things, kind of like a little thrift sale for Ernest Holmes. And I was like, he had these plates and they had a spiral pattern on them, right? And can you tell at all that I'm a CSL fan? I mean, this is going to be terrible to say this. Had I found CSL before I found Unity, I might have gone on the other side of the sisterhood. But here's the cool thing. You can go on any side of the sisterhood. Brotherhood, whatever you want to call it, the personhood, the humanhood, the divine hood. We're in the divine hood. You can be in any angle of the divine hood. And if you look at all of our centers, we all actually are just part of the spectrum, right? But anyway, back to the story. I decided, we're not going to have time for a sermon today, sorry.